Welcome to Cinemophile, where we bring you the best in independent, documentary, and foreign films, and we talk to the people who made them. I'm your host, Mike Caspar, and you can find out more about the program by going to cinemaphilepod.com. As the first elected councilwoman from her remote Iranian village, Sara Shahverdi fearlessly breaks patriarchal traditions by training teenage girls to ride motorcycles and stopping child marriages. When accusations arise questioning Sara's intentions to empower the girls, her identity is put into turmoil. Boy, that's an understatement. There's a lot going on in this film that will inspire you and infuriate you. It's just a beautiful story, and how this came about is a remarkable story, in addition to the fact that it is a remarkable story all the way around. We're joined today by the co-directors of this terrific documentary, Cutting Through Rocks, Sara Khaki, as well as Mohammadreza Eyni. To both of you, welcome to Cinemophile.
Thank you so much, Mike, for having us. It's really an honor to be here.
It's an honor to have you. I have to start at speaking of the sheer determination of Sara Shahverdi, your determination as filmmakers to stay with this story. Let's talk about a little bit about the origin of it and how, over what period of time were you a part of her life?
Thank you, Mike. So this project started back in 2017 when I was in New York. I had been born and raised in Tehran, Iran, but then I immigrated to the United States at a young age. And having lived equally between the two worlds, I realized that ideas that are discussed in the film, particularly gender injustice, is a shared experience even in the States. So through extensive research, I came across the story of a woman who lives in the northwest of Iran, Sara Shahverdi, who had been a midwife and delivered 400 kids in her village and the only woman who rides a motorcycle. So that was intriguing enough I knew that there was a story here. And so I had the pleasure of working with Mohammadreza Eyni on other past projects remotely. Here I was in New York, he was in Iran. So I knew who to call. I called Mohammadreza and I said, let's go to this village together and start.
Yeah, and I'm from the region, not from the specific village that you saw in the film, but the Azeri speaking community. And I know the culture and the dynamic and everything. And I've witnessed a lot of similar stories of childbirth marriage or the young girls wanting to have more space and freedom. So I was looking for a chance to make a film about the community that I'm coming from. But it was not possible as a male director to get an access and intimacy that I really wanted. I was looking for, but Sara Khaki made it happen. So actually, as a female director, exactly. So actually, we were friends when we started the project, and we fell in love in the process, and we got married.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Well,
Yeah.
congratulations.
Thank you. And it was actually another story behind the camera was happening. And we can one day make a film about it, cutting through marriage, maybe. So, so and actually, despite more than 30% of Iranian people speak this language, it's very rare to find films coming from this region. And also for me, it was a response to the culture that I grown up with. But it was a story that was there and waiting for filmmakers to be told. So I'm happy that I did it with Sara, who brought a lot of knowledge about women situation and inequality. So it was possible with a dual collaboration.
So this didn't set out to be an 8-year journey for us. We didn't, when we started the project, we really didn't know that this was going to go on for a long time. So we had 8 sessions of production, but every session ended up being as long as 50 days or 90 days because we wanted to be there. We wanted to have the patience on the ground and see the evolution of the story happening. But at least 3 years into production, we really had no support and we had nothing except for each other. And a lot of passion for cinema and documentary filmmaking, and a wonderful character that was doing a lot, um, and was going from one battle from one battle to another, and that was worth exploring and following.
Yeah, and we didn't want to lose the time. If we were waiting for a support to coming and then going to film there, it was not possible. So we decided we were actually crazy cinema lovers that we had a real passion about telling this story of Sara Shahverdi. It was really we are honored to be there and filming there. Yeah.
A couple of things come to mind. One is I say this quite often, thank God for documentary filmmakers and their instincts and their determination, because how many documentaries never saw the light of day because things just fall apart, but also how many have come to fruition. And this is certainly a great example of the determination that you demonstrate in making the film, and in many ways a reflection of Sara Shahverdi's determination to see things through. I don't know if that provided you with additional inspiration to continue to follow her, but there's something symbiotic about the relationship that I see with the production and with her life. Is that a fair way to put it?
Yeah, let's me answer to this question. I strongly believe that for making films like Cutting Through Rocks, we need two Saras. One behind the camera, Sara Khaki, and one in front of camera, Sara Shahverdi. It was not possible if we didn't have any of them. And I, as a male director, witnessed their discussions, their talks, and I learned a lot from them. And it was a result of seeing two brave, fantastic women with the same mission doing something. And each of them with a different approach. One doing and being an activist, a real activist, doing something every day. She's not kind of a megaphone activist. She's there and she's doing
Exactly.
little everything every day, doing something even small. And the other one, Sarah, as a director, thinking about how we can visualize this
Yeah.
is.
Well, thank you.
And let's not forget that her father provided her with an opportunity to break the mold. Her father, what we see in the photo that we see of him and her on the motorcycle, I have to feel like that sort of rounds out the portrait of this in a way that is hopeful for everyone.
Mm.
And really, no matter where you are in life, no matter where you find your circumstances, getting a foundation like this, someone who believes in you from the beginning, that was telling you that you can reach for the stars, is
Mm.
certainly a part of this. Is that?
Absolutely. Her father had a lot to do with Sarah's upbringing and the way she thinks of life. And as you mentioned, I think you're absolutely right in that seeing Sara Shahverdi's determination in creating paths for women and girls, or creating space for them, definitely inspired us. And as we kept witnessing an encouraging and brave character, we kept asking ourselves, why shouldn't we be brave enough to continue with perseverance to tell this story? And this idea of thinking of life as a mountain full of rocks, and if you chip away a little bit of that rock every day, at the end of the day, there will be that change. There will be that path created for us.
Yeah.
So that idea in mind really, really helped us keeping on going with production, even though a lot happened behind the scenes, and we many times we weren't even sure we would have a finished project at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It was a grassroots effort for us also as filmmakers. You see Sarah Shahverdi in the film. It was a grassroots change, and she's trying to do it. And also for us behind the camera was the same quality of just doing it, just being in a grassroots level and making the film. And also about Sarah's dad, I can say Sarah Shahverdi during the film trying to negotiate with other men and asking them to be like her father.
Hmm.
And Sarah had an experience of enjoying getting support from her dad. And also she's asking other men in the village that please give this pleasure, this joyful experience also to your daughters. And this is also, and we dedicated the film to Sarah's dad, actually. Cutting Through
That's
Rocks
great.
dedicated to her dad.
I want to make sure I've given enough due to the story. We've talked about it in the introduction, but Sarah, at one point early in the film, makes a determination, first of all, to battle within her own family. We begin to see the sort of patriarchy play out in her own life in ways that are just unimaginable. Well, they're imaginable, certainly, but not, so she steps up right away. And then she says, you know what, I want to run for a council. It's a council of some kind that she's running for office, right?
Yes.
And boy, she's not afraid. I mean, she doesn't, she projects someone who's not afraid of anything. And to see not only her courage in the face of people telling her, no, you can't do this, but then immediately, at least in the film, the process of telling the story, we see the support she's getting from women who have been waiting for this, who have been hoping that somebody would come along. And she just is so amazing. She's so amazing. I love the way she will just, with with all due respect to the people she's talking to, she will just tell them exactly what they need to do and why they need to do it. And it's amazing. It really is. And especially in light of everything else. It's not just her family, her village. It's the whole thing. It's everything. It envelops every part of these women's lives. I don't have a question. I just want to.
And yes, it's right. And also, you can talk about how Sarah's past life as a midwife just
Yeah,
affected and her connection to the village. And
Yeah.
when, yeah.
Yeah, so you're right. So Sara Shahverdi, because of her past life as a midwife, had a lot to do with the way she was deeply rooted and connected to this community.
right.
Sometimes we would just go out to shoot in the middle of the street, and then she would run into a woman, and just with an exchange of an eye, we could tell that they go way back. Then she would share with us that, she delivered that woman's children, and there were so many stories. She really, really knew the twists and turns of this village, and deeply understood these women and their needs. So it was really beautiful to witness that what she could do, as soon as she got into power as an elected councilwoman, which was thanks to the first time voters who are 18-year-olds, and they're all the kids that she once delivered, that she was able to get the votes that she did. That it was really great to be able to witness. And there's something that you maybe you could say something about the election process. How
Yeah, what you said, Mike, is so beautiful. I think that it's a hidden desire there for women and young girls. They
Mhm.
want something, but they need someone to give voice to them. And
Mhm.
Sarah is there. When Sarah is there, they're happy that, oh, someone is there and they can support us. And then you see them, as you saw in the school, the teenage girls with sad faces. But after just talking with Sarah, you see their eyes sparkling. It's like shining. You can see that they are so talented, full of life. And then they only need someone to trust them and telling them that you can do it, or supporting women to have the share of the lands they
Absolutely.
really deserve. You know, they're happy. They're waiting for a chance. And Sarah just trying to take a council seat was a fantastic chance for other women too to express themselves that now we can vote. We can vote to someone that really believe.
And what was so fascinating about that, when she was elected to this council, she had been around and been thinking about these things that she wanted to do, and the things that she settled on, the first things we see her do in the film in regard to her newfound status and power, is to do things that matter to the people, that are the kind of fundamental things. Having that stamp that she can use to approve things was, and how much you wouldn't know it unless you're listening carefully, how powerful that stamp was. And then you see it play out over the course of the film. Beautifully done. There's a couple things I want to just lean into here as filmmakers. The opening scene of her at the gate, when she's fixing the gate, is such a great encapsulation of what we're going to see in the film. I mean, for people who see Cutting Through Rocks, just keep that sort of metaphor in mind as you watch the rest of the film. There's so many other things that she does, that the determination to fix things, the determination to encourage and lift people up around her is so beautiful. And the young woman who comes to stay with her for that period of time and to see the light on in her, inside of her, start to really shine is
Mm.
really,
Thank you.
it's an emotional film. I won't kid you. There's a lot of points in this film that just really tear at your emotions in terms of just what if, the what ifs of the film. And these women you were talking about in that classroom, who, where could they be in life if they're given the opportunity?
Thank you for saying that, Mike. We really, the story was there, and also the issue was there. For us as the filmmakers, we wanted to see and feel the story in an emotional way. Imagine we only wanted to capture the issue there. It was a few interviews, and then it was also, reflecting the issues in the village. But both of us, we decided to make a film for big screen, of course, and also convey the emotions, and that demanded patience. We wanted to be there and see what is happening there. And actually, one of the themes that you mentioned is the power. We wanted to see in a world that leaders taking reckless decisions. For us, it was also important to see that how
Mhm.
she is using the power. I remember a day that we captured the whole election scene and we edited some scenes and we showed to a colleague, and he said, guys, I think you have a story here. A woman trying to take a council seat for the first time, and then despite all the obstacles, she wins. That's it. But Sarah and I decided to stay 5 years more to see how she uses the power. And
Absolutely, what she can do with that power and creating space for women and creating co-ownership for women. So now 100 women co-own spaces
Yes.
with their
Well,
husbands, which is
yeah,
really, really revolutionary, not just in this village, I
yeah.
would say in the Middle East and in North Africa. And it's so wonderful to see one individual trying to make change on a local level. And she's from that village, from that space. And then in the end of the movie, seeing these women accompanying with their parents accompanying these girls, on these long roads with Sarah. For us, it's not really the ending. This is just the beginning
beginning.
of a
Yeah.
bigger effect, a ripple effect that this could have to their kids, their next generations. And this is really, really for us and wonderful way to keep the perseverance and hope going.
I wanted to say that, but thank you. You said it so beautifully. And Mike, you asked about Sarah's dad. In the beginning, we see only Sarah, the picture, Sarah's dad, only woman motorcycle rider. And at the end, we see five, six other fathers like Sarah's dad watching their daughters riding motorcycle. They are there to support them. This was revolutionary. And
There's
I'm
one of yeah, there's one other thing about the beginning of the family dispute over the transference of the inheritance and such. And what I loved about the way she went about approaching that and how she talked to her brothers and made those many of these points. And there's a phone call to one of her brothers, I believe. And they've signed the sisters have signed away their inheritance without any guarantees of anything. And her two or three questions into the conversation with her brother, it all falls apart. They didn't, he's saying, well, they didn't have to sign it. What, I mean, he's admitting that this is all a fraud. Within a couple of seconds, and for me, that's the thing about all of this. It's all, in some manner of speaking, a fraud. And she's pointing out just how much of a fraud it is to do this, to half the population, to the creative, the life givers of a society, to do this to them. It's I just yeah, it's a beautiful film.
Mike, it's a practice, it's a traditional practice in the village and in the region that they believe that it's not good for women to ask for inheritance. And they accepted that. Also, women, they are like, it's not good, guys. It's asking for, the
Yeah.
share. It's not acceptable. But Sarah is the first woman saying, no, we want that. And we are not ashamed of asking for our share. And actually, we witnessed also the family and the brothers changing in the process. And I have a respect to them too, being
Yeah.
open for change, actually.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well,
Thank you, Mike.
this film is just remarkable. I'm so happy that you stuck with your instincts and you continue to persevere, as I hope that Sara Shahverdi is still hopefully happy and safe and all the rest of it. I couldn't help but be more and more concerned about her own well-being throughout the film and what she's up against. So I hope she's doing well.
She's doing well. Her 4-year term in office ended, and she continues to advocate for women and girls, and she's doing well. Thank you so much for this beautiful
Oh,
conversation.
And
my
and uh,
pleasure. My
and
pleasure.
beautiful words coming from you. It really means a lot to us. Thank you for sharing.
You're so welcome. The film is called Cutting Through Rocks, and it's done great wherever it's played. I think you won at Sundance, didn't you win? You won the Grand Jury Prize for World Cinema Documentary. That should tell you a lot right there. And all the best to you moving forward in this process. It's going to be an interesting award season. And I hope to God I see more and more of you over the next few months. Cutting Through Rocks co-directors Sara Khaki as well as Mohammad Reza Eyni. You have been listening to Cinemaphile with Mike Kaspar, the place where you will hear from the best in independent documentary and foreign filmmakers. Please check out our previous interviews as well as upcoming interviews and special programming by going to cinemaphilepod.com. We are also available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube, searchable under Cinemaphile with Mike Kaspar. Until next time, thank you for listening.